Hello, church. So I was not planning on being back in my fall attire, but man, it froze over last night and is pretty cold. So back to the sweater vest, which it's my inner happy place. So today we step into Proverbs 25 and also into a new section within Proverbs. Van Leeuwen is going to be calling this the second Solomonic or Solomonic, or however you say that word, sayings of Solomon, for this portion, which is going to run into Proverbs 29. I'm secretly hoping that we might be on a pathway to complete Proverbs 31 as we're coming up on Mother's Day celebration. Because that would work out very nicely, and then we'll keep rolling right along. With this being a new section, we'll have some introductory commentary from the New Interpreter's Bible, and then we'll share a few other pieces with you from his time of reflection. And a small portion of his overview, and I'll share a few others as we move through Proverbs 25. The collection begins with attention to God, king, and court subjects, and that's verses 1 through 7, followed by sayings on speech and social conflict of various sorts, and that goes from 8 to 15, which will cover us. The address of 25, 2 to 7, if not the whole chapter, is to the young men of the royal court. So most of these are going to be addressed to how a person leads wisely, how we are to be behaving in court, and not in terms of the courtroom, but in terms of the royal court. I think they are going to get into some legal issues and proceedings as well. So yeah, you can take that in with a little bit of salt. So here is our verse 1. These are other proverbs of Solomon that the officials of King Hezekiah of Judah copy. Hezekiah might be a familiar name to you as one of the kings that we hear about in the Old Testament. It is the glory of God to conceal things, but the glory of kings is to search things out. Like the heavens for height, like the earth for depth, so the mind of kings is unsearchable. Take away the dross from the silver, and the smith has material for a vessel. Take away the wicked from the presence of the king, and his throne will be established in righteousness. Do not put yourself forward in the king's presence, or stand in the place of the great, for it is better to be told, "Come up here," than to be put lower in the presence of a noble. And very similar reflection there to Jesus' story of the wedding banquet and where you sit as you're going along and being lifted up. What your eyes have seen, do not hastily bring into court, for what will you do in the end when your neighbor puts you to shame? Argue your case with your neighbor directly, and do not disclose another's secret, or else someone who hears you will bring shame upon you, and your ill repute will have no end. A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in a setting of silver, like a gold ring or an ornament of gold is a wise rebuke to a listening ear. Like the cold of snow in the time of harvest are faithful messengers to those who send them. They refresh the spirit of their masters. Like clouds and wind without rain is one who boasts of a gift never given. Like clouds and wind without rain is one who boasts of a gift never given. With patience, a ruler may be persuaded, and a soft tongue can break bones. That last verse caught me, as well as that line about a snow in the time of harvest. Peterson is going to use that as this kind of refreshing moment in the midst of difficult work. which might be right. He also resets that soft tongue breaking bonds as kind of breaking down resistance and boundaries and stubbornness. So we'll be listening to that in a minute. And this is the first portion of reflection from Van Leeuwen in the New Interpreter's Bible. The Old Testament often uses spatial images, being high and lifted up, being low and lifted up, high and being brought down. Uses spatial images to convey aspects of the human condition. The imagery of high and low is used frequently in the Psalms to indicate security and well-being, or alternatively, misery and calamity. God, who dwells on high, lifts up the lowly and brings down the high and mighty. In Proverbs 25, the inscrutable glory of God and King are conveyed by cosmic height and depth. That was the line about the unsearchable knowledge of kings and looking in those things. So that's verses 2 to 3. Spatial imagery also conveys social position and boundaries. Wisdom at court or anywhere requires a recognition of social limits and propriety. This includes self-knowledge. What is my proper place and function in the scheme of things? And awareness that powerful others also form judgments about who we are. When the one judging us is God, a human ruler, or an employer, realistic humility is called for. Jesus expands the admonition of 25:6-7 into a parable on choosing places of honor at table from Luke 14:7-11. Israel's shame and honor culture made explicit social dynamics that are often present but are obscured and are more egalitarian culture. So, the stories might not quite fit, but they make sense. And now, a little bit of the message for us as we step into Proverbs 25. Peterson simply calls this Further Wise Sayings of Solomon. Thank you for not making me try to pronounce Solomonic. And he entitles this particular section based on one of the latter verses in our portion, the right word at the right time. There are also these Proverbs of Solomon collected by scribes of Hezekiah, king of Judah. God delights in concealing things. Scientists delight in discovering things. Like the horizons for breadth and the ocean for depth, the understanding of a good leader is broad and deep. Remove impurities from the silver, and the silversmith can craft a fine chalice. Remove the wicked from leadership, and authority will be credible and God-honoring. Don't work yourself into the spotlight. Don't push your way into the place of prominence. It's better to be promoted to a place of honor than face humiliation by being demoted. Don't jump to conclusions. There may be a perfectly good explanation for what you just saw. In the heat of an argument, don't betray confidences. Word is sure to get around and no one will trust you. The right word at the right time is like a custom-made piece of jewelry, and a wise friend's timely reprimand is like a gold ring slipped on your finger. Reliable friends who do what they say are like cool drinks in sweltering heat, refreshing. That's the parallel to the snowfall in the time of harvest. One of my favorite lines from NRSV is coming up now in Peterson. Like billowing clouds that bring no rain is the person who talks big but never produces. Patient persistence pierces through indifference. Gentle speech breaks down rigid defenses. So that soft tongue breaking bones is that part. Let me give you that one again, because Peterson again hit some alliteration for us as well. Patient persistence pierces through indifference. Gentle speech breaks down rigid defenses. Good portion. Yeah, so I'm liking Proverbs 25 so far, and we'll look forward to continuing with you tomorrow. Thanks so much, and we will see you next time. Bye.